Moo my dudes, what is up? I just wanted to come on here and say that this episode of Certified Beef was recorded on Wednesday, September 18th. So this was before one of my takes looked super bad. So let's stay tuned, find out which one it is. Please don't hate me. It didn't go my way, that's all I'll say. But enjoy the episode.
In my opinion, Hurricane Ida was a blessing in disguise for the Saints.
Packers fans are idiots.
George Kittle loves to get yards, especially after the catch.
Welcome back to Certified Beef. On today's episode, we look into a little bit of college football, mainly NFL, and we're going to give you some teams with storylines, maybe some things we want you to look forward to. It's been very interesting first couple weeks for football, especially in college football. There's just a ton of really good teams, and there's no really number one team, which is crazy to say. But yeah, we'll start with college football, and then we'll move into NFL, obviously. Brandon, it's 2 weeks in. Overall thoughts, just after 2 weeks. I guess 3 weeks. Let's just go overall thoughts. 3 weeks of college football, 2 weeks of the NFL.
I don't know. I haven't been paying too terribly close attention to college football. It's last year and the year before I was on the Florida State train for sure, and now it's just hilarious to see how far they've fallen. Like, I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then, let's see, what else is there in college football? I mean, Arch Manning has looked good when he's had to play. Quinn Ewers destroying the league. I mean, Texas is... We both, when we were talking about this, we were both like, yeah, Texas is just good. We don't need anybody to look forward to them at all. So we're just gonna put that out there. Texas is good.
Yeah, facts. They're really good. I would say they're the best team if you're gonna pick one.
Yep.
I mean, obviously they're number one, but that doesn't mean the number one team is always ranked at one.
And then moving to NFL, I'm just excited how good the Vikings are playing. I set my expectations so low that it feels...
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
That they're going to blow my thing out of the water.
You are a fucking idiot.
I was expecting Jets Sam Darnold, and he has proven me wrong, so let's hope it stays that way.
I mean, I wasn't expecting that, but, you're a fucking idiot. You are so stupid.
I'm going to enjoy this ride now.
I told you that there was no chance that they go 3-14, mainly because they're just gonna play better. But I won't. I'll just talk about them now, and I'll talk about a couple other teams that I like in the NFL, or things that I don't like. I think if we don't make the playoffs, it's a disappointing season.
Yeah.
At this point, if we win this weekend, I'm for sure thinking yaffs. But at this point with our schedule, it's not that bad. There's a lot of winnable games on the schedule. If we don't make the playoffs, it's a disappointment.
Especially with a third place schedule, we should get there.
We should. If we play one of the worst divisions in the AFC for our AFC opponents, so it's you should. And
we get the tough one out of the way this week, so
yeah, and they don't even look that good right now. They look bad on Sunday night. The Texans looked really bad. Not really bad, but they didn't look good. Their defense was all right. Mainly if they would have. If they wouldn't have blitzed Caleb Williams all night, they would have got. I think they would have got picked apart.
Oh yeah,
the first couple plays where he was the first drive where he didn't get pressured at all, he looked just fine. So yeah, it's exciting, but obviously I still have no expectations. We're not a contender. I wouldn't. No. That's crazy to say, but it's we're a team right now that you don't want to play is basically what it is, because people were just there's no way that they beat the Giants. There's no way this can happen. I went into the 49ers game being yeah, I just want us to be competitive. That's it. Just stay close. But it wasn't even realistically, yes, the score says otherwise, but that shouldn't have been that close. If Aaron Jones doesn't fumble on the 1 yard line, that's a blowout. It's a blowout win. And
that's crazy.
It won't be talked about like that, but that literally is. Plus, they when they didn't turn the ball over and gained a little momentum, they scored 3 points on drives where they didn't get the ball from a turnover. So they were just seizing momentum, and we had all the momentum in that game. And if we had just not made our own mistakes, it would have been a fucking blowout.
That's wild.
Which is correct. It is crazy, but it would have. It like real. If Aaron it should have been a blowout. It should not have been close. So I don't know. It's crazy to think that we're 2-0. I could have seen us going 0-2 for sure, especially after last season. But I don't know. No one. I mean, when you have a guy like Brian Flores, it's like you should expect this to happen. He did it with Miami. They had no talent on that team, very little. I think they might have had worse talent than we have. Honestly, they had like no. That was before Jalen Phillips, not Brian Burns,
Bradley Chubb,
Bradley Chubb, and like Javon Holland got there. That Xavier Howard was there. That was about the only person they had.
Yeah.
They just had a bunch of guys that fit into the scheme. That's what you need in some ways. Like Josh Metellus has turned into a great player, which is crazy. And then I think he won't get talked about enough, but the best signing of the offseason so far is Blake Cashman. He flies everywhere. I've never seen a linebacker like that since maybe Anthony Barr or Kendricks, but like I don't even think they were that good, in my opinion. Like Kendricks was good, but like Blake Cashman is good in the run game and the pass game. And I never really saw like that much out of Kendricks as much as I do with Blake Cashman. And Anthony Barr was good too, but like I think he's better.
Maybe it's that hometown thing.
I don't know because I don't even think he was like a off-ball linebacker in college, from what I remember. I mean, I can't remember because he wasn't like amazing at Minnesota. Like he was like a late round pick, anyways. But yeah, I don't know. It is exciting.
Yep.
As long as Jefferson will play this week, so that's good. Like I don't expect him to sit. Like he was limited in practice, but they've already basically said he's going to play. So
yeah, he did walkthroughs today. He's good.
Yeah, that's all you need. You just need to walk through.
Yep.
I mean, and that's the thing that is crazy. Like we have a 2-0 start like this. Yeah, we have Jefferson, but Addison didn't play basically the first game, and that last game, Hawkinson's still not back. But like I can just totally feel it too. Is we'll win this game, and then Jordan Love will come back and just steal all my fucking thunder because I want to beat the Packers so bad. But he might not come back though. Like he
I don't think
was
he
just.
will.
He won't be back this week for sure. But like if it would be so on brand for him to come back next week. But I don't know. It is fun. It is fun to be good.
Yep.
And be like somewhat respected by like people now. Because like I said this last year, I said this team is a lot better than their record. And then no one believed me. They're like, oh, you're just a fucking idiot. Well, that's just like my friends basically said that you're an idiot. And then it just proving now that I was actually right. I'm like the Frank the Tank of the Vikings. Like I know my team. Frank knows the Mets the best out of anyone. And he calls that shit. And I know my team better than anyone. That's just how it is. And it is what it is. All right, Brian. Let's hear your college football team that you either want us to pay attention to or a storyline that is brewing.
Yeah, so this one is kind of going to hurt a little bit, but I think Nebraska will end up playing in the Big Ten Championship this year. That's very hard to admit as a Hawkeye fan, but this is Nebraska's year to make a big splash. This team is built perfectly for a true freshman quarterback like Dylan Raiola, who, yes, he's very talented, but if he makes mistakes, this team is going to have his back. It's not like their defense is incredible. So if he turns it over somewhere, there's a good chance that they're limiting him to only 3 points. Not having a notable wide receiver. I don't know any of the wide receivers. I've heard of one of the running backs on their list, on their roster, but that's a little concerning that they don't have that marquee guy. But then again, like I just said, they're built for they're a together team, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you a single person on that team besides Raiola.
Matt Rule has shown it again that he is a great college coach, and this is going to be the first season in the great Nebraska turnaround.
But have you ever seen his second year bump from coaching?
I have not. I've heard of it.
Every time that he goes to a new school, he's not great the first year, but then the second year he just he goes nuclear.
Yeah.
They're like I said, their defense is outstanding. They have a 102 to 20 point differential, and that includes playing a game against Colorado, who has a good offense, not a good offensive line, but a good offense. The only thing is they got at Ohio State, at USC. Those are like the two big games. I mean, I did throw an Iowa in there just because it is a rivalry week at Kinnick. I'm expecting Nebraska to just blow the doors off. I'm not going to lie. I'm going into that game with no expectations of a Hawkeye win. So, yeah, their big games are on the road, but I think they got a shot in at least all of those.
They have to win. They'd have to win all their other games, and they'd have to beat USC to make it there.
Yes.
Because I don't think they're going to beat Ohio State on the road. They could beat them in Lincoln, but they can't beat them on the road.
I think this week they're taking on number 24 Illinois. I think Illinois is fraudulent. They played a bad Kansas team, so it's not that exciting that they're in the top 25.
It's a Friday game.
It is a Friday game.
Last week, one of the only ranked games was on Friday, and this week another one of the only ranked games on Friday. I don't understand why it's so stupid.
It's not even going to be a good ranked game.
No.
But I think that they got a good shot at this is because even though Oregon has a somewhat easy schedule, they haven't shown me what I want to see from a top 10 team besides last week in the Civil War. Like, that's the only time that they looked extremely good.
It's not called that anymore, Brandon.
Why is it not?
It's not appropriate, I guess.
What, do they actually say that?
It's like woke shit. Like, I don't know. I just know it's not called the Civil War anymore. Come on, Brandon. You gotta be up on your shit.
Oh, now it's called, okay. According to Wikipedia, the Oregon State football rivalry, formerly known as the Civil War.
Yeah,
that's such a scoop.
I don't think they know. I don't think they have a name for it anymore.
Yeah, it's just Oregon State football rivalry.
That's what I'm saying. They stopped calling it the Civil War, which is so lame.
Yeah, that's a good ass name. But yeah,
I don't even understand why it's bad. It's just probably because it's
people fighting.
Racism.
Yeah. But yeah, I do hate how corny Dylan Raiola is.
Oh my god, I was going to bring it up. It's bad.
I just saw something that's like, oh, he's the Jason Tatum of college football. It's so true.
He literally is.
But
Part of my take has talked about it a lot. Big Cat absolutely cannot stand him. He's corny as fuck. He is literally trying to be Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, he does look exactly like him, which is hilarious.
I mean, what is he? I don't know if he's like dating anyone, but they're like, do you think he's gonna date a Britney lookalike? If he does that, bro,
his high school sweetheart.
I don't know if he has one, but like if he dates like a freaking Britney lookalike, that'd
be hilarious.
Yeah, it's bad. I'm not gonna lie, it's a tough look.
Yeah, but you can do whatever you want when you're good, so doesn't matter.
I mean, that is fair. Like, he is really good, and he's gonna be really good for the next 2 years for sure. If he stays for a fourth, I would be surprised.
I would be too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unless NIL is that good, but like the first overall pick is better than NIL money.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, Nebraska to the Big Ten chip versus Ohio State.
Yeah, it's probably that'd probably be realistic. Brandon already mentioned this team. This team is it's crazy what it's come to. My biggest thing with Florida State is I don't think they're gonna make a bowl game, and I know that's crazy to say, but they have a lot of tough games, and they're just bad. They're just a bad team, and I was one of the people, and much like a lot of people in the country, who were apologetic for Florida State missing a playoff, and I wish I would have never been in that state. I feel like such a fucking idiot to think that. They are an abomination of a football team. Like, I don't even understand how this happens. There's like no reason you should ever go from 13-0 to 0-3.
Yeah.
And the teams they played are not like great teams. I know that Boston College is playing a lot better than they normally do this year, and that's why they're ranked now, or they were.
Yeah.
And Memphis is one of the better group of 5 teams, but Georgia Tech is like historically like been a bad franchise or not a why did I say franchise like
The
football
past
school.
few, yeah, like past decade,
They've been
they've not
they've
been
been
relevant.
bad. They've been fucking irrelevant as fuck. And I think honestly the coach should be he should be on the hot seat.
Mike Norvell, I
He's
agree.
he's
Yeah,
had two 0-3 seasons starts at Florida State since he's been there.
yeah, you can't
I think
have
it was
that.
like 2021 or
It was his
2022 he had that.
first season, I think.
Yeah, I mean they were bad when he got there, but he's turned it around. But
Yeah,
there, you still should not go from or you should not go from 13-0 or 13-1 to 0-3. And I think it's a real issue too. Is you instead of bringing in I don't know why, but they unless they swung and missed on every single person, bringing in DJU was by far the worst decision they could have ever made. He's a god awful quarterback.
I mean, he was the top QB in the portal. To be fair,
there's no way.
I'm pretty sure he was.
Not Cam Ward.
Oh yeah, Cam Ward and then DJU. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
That's insane.
'Cause
DJU
I don't
is
think Will
fucking
Howard and
garbage.
what's the guy from Mississippi State that went to Washington?
Will Rogers definitely not. He's not good. No, like I said, I said this after 0-2, and like because I was like Memphis is a good group of 5 team, and I was like they're not going to make the playoff, or they're not obviously not going to do that, but I'm saying they're not going to make a bowl game, and then you just go through their schedule and they fucking have to face
They
like,
play America's team this week in Cal. Everyone started
Why is
to
that
jump up because
because they beat Auburn.
well, that and like their social media team has just been going crazy. Like they're showing like a Soviet Union bear for some reason. It's just like wild, but it's hilarious.
I mean, yeah, there's a chance that they don't even beat them either, and then they have to go play SMU, which
Yep,
SMU
is a good team.
Great, is a good team. They haven't looked great this year, but they've been struggling. But they also are they're on the road against SMU. They play Clemson. They'll probably lose that game too.
Oh yeah,
Duke's not good. They play at Miami. Like I think they win like 3 or 4 games max.
yeah.
Like they're just not gonna like they might beat Florida because Florida is an abomination, but they also might get the interim head coaching bump in Florida because their coach will get fired by the end of the season.
You think Billy
if not
Napier's
half.
out?
I mean, everyone said he's pre-fired, so I assume. I mean, they haven't been good in a while, and it's just not working for him. So
What's the total like over under for Florida and Florida State combined? It's got to be like 6, like 6.5.
yeah, Florida has the hardest schedule in the country.
Like they do play Mississippi State this week, and Mississippi State is god awful. Like you
they're
can't
bad.
lose
They
to
just lost to Toledo. Yeah, that's bad.
But then you play UCF at Tennessee versus Kentucky at Georgia at Texas versus LSU versus Ole
That's
Miss at Florida State. Like
I think it's like 6.5, 7 or 7.5 maybe. Actually, no, 6.5 is probably right for combined between the two teams. They're probably going to be the worst teams in Florida for Power 5 teams.
this is
Because all the other teams are actually good.
yeah, UCF is actually pretty solid
I mean, they
This
were
is
like
Miami
Miami last
State.
year.
for sure.
What?
This is Miami State.
The U is back, 100%
Yeah.
back. I mean, they have Cam Ward who will probably leave after this year, but it's still electric. They're when the U is good, it's fun.
You only
It is
need
also
1 year
sad
to
that-
help with recruiting.
It is also so sad that the U is like one of the most popular like football schools, and they can't even fill up a 55,000 seat stadium
Yeah,
because they play at Miami Garden. I don't know.
it's too
Miami
far away.
Gardens. It's just for Miami. I don't know why they built a stadium so. I get that like a lot of teams are like that, but you would think I mean I guess college it's tough because a lot of people just don't have cars or the means to get there. But like a pro team, the Dolphins don't even fill that stadium up. I don't know. The Florida, I have never been so pissed off at myself. Like, not that it actually matters at all, but I was so pissed off at the committee, and I've never been so happy that they did that because it's just showing that Florida State is just they should have never made it.
yeah.
And like I just don't understand. Like if they go 4 or 3-8 or 3-9 or 4-8, I don't understand how their coach doesn't get fired. Like you can, there's no coming back from that. Like how do you come back? Like no one's gonna want to come play there.
No, yeah.
Like they're fucked. Like they're so fucked. Like I get that they lost a ton of guys, but that happens to every team. Teams lose guys all the time. Look at Texas. They lost like all the receivers. They lost very key pieces of their defense, and they're still like, I get it's Texas, but Florida State was a top 5 team last year, and they've turned into an abomination of a program and one of the worst teams in the ACC, if not the country.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope he gets fired. That coach, fuck that guy. He sucks. Oh, also, that guy needs to eat the shit.
Oh yeah, that needs
that guy. Like that guy's the reason why they're losing. 100%.
I like his friends just need to like turn him in or something.
Yeah, he should actually get charged with something.
Turn him into the police for false advertising.
You should literally, yeah, you should. There should be a fucking punishment. There should be a thing where you have to like. You don't have to serve much time, but you should be charged with something like or fined for like coming up with something like that because you're like, oh, there's no chance we lose to this team.
Yeah.
And if you lose, you should have to do that. And if you don't do it, if you don't own up to it and post it, you should be arrested.
If you want to be the shit, you got to eat the shit.
Like what a loser! Like you just like you come up with this thing. You're like, I'll eat the shit, and then like you literally have to delete everything off. You just can't be on social media anymore. You have to start new accounts. Yeah, what a loser! Like you just like destroyed your life because you just wouldn't eat the shit.
Yeah,
that guy sucks.
Yeah,
fuck that guy. Everyone wants to see it.
Bro, blue-balled the country.
All right, cool, nice. Way to end it.
Yeah.
Way to end it. Yeah. All right. You have any other? Any like little like quick blurb about any other team that you would be looking out for? Or
UNLV, they're cool.
Yeah,
I like them.
Yeah, yep.
That's about all.
They killed Kansas, or they didn't kill Kansas, but they kind of like just stole that game from them.
Well, Kansas lost because they couldn't recover that one fumble, which is hilarious.
That video is funny.
It is. Very reminiscent of the 97-yard fumble by Louisiana Tech, but not as bad.
Also, Tennessee. I think Tennessee could maybe shock some people.
Oh yeah,
and like be in the SEC title game.
Tennessee's a very good team.
The SEC is ridiculous now. The fact that they have Texas, Oklahoma, like I'm pretty sure they have like 7 teams inside the top 12 or something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's so ridiculous. Like, is it possible that like the SEC, like obviously there's favoritism for it. Like there's a 3-loss team that gets in because they like they played really good. They're all 3 losses or like let's say a 2-loss. I saw something like this. They were talking about how much does losing a conference championship affect your playoff chances? Because like
it shouldn't.
If you're let's say you're a 2-loss team though, and you go into your conference championship game and you lose, you're a 3-loss team. Where does that put you now? Because if there's a 2-loss team that just missed the title game, do they get favoritism over you? Like it's going to be. I think it's almost going to be harder to do the playoff this year than they think.
That's the thing is like how do you balance it between that? Like you made it to the championship game, but if you lose, you could be potentially kicked out. They got to find a way to like weight that somehow.
You know what they should have done? They should have just done 16 teams, and since they only have 4 Power 4 they have 4 Power 4 conferences. If you make the title game, you're in. Oh, and if you win your title game, you get the top 4 seeds, and you get a home game. Like why wouldn't you do that? It just eliminates. It really just eliminates drama for no reason. Because, like, in the Power 5 school or Power 4, there's not going to be a team with 3 losses making it to the title game, unless, like, maybe the ACC, but I don't even see that either. Because Miami's probably going to be undefeated. Clemson's going to have maybe 1 or 2 losses. But, like, the Big 12's going to have... Actually, the Big 12 could eat itself alive. And they could have two lost teams in the title game.
That and the SEC are the most up for grabs conferences by far. I guess maybe
for sure.
ACC because there's no standout besides Miami.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I also think the Big Ten is like the 3rd best conference right now in college football,
behind the Big 12 and SEC.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people would say the Big Ten's over the Big 12, but I think the Big 12's better.
Big Ten
just because they have better
very
teams. Top heavy. They have,
yeah.
And Michigan's not even in that. Like Like Michigan is also like they're not as bad as Florida State, but they're like you can't even consider Michigan in the top parts of the
No.
country in the Big Ten anymore. Like it's Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, and USC. Like I'm not gonna put in Nebraska yet unless they beat USC. Then I'll be like, okay, like they're that team. But yeah, that should be interesting. I think it's gonna be way harder to do the playoff this year.
Right.
There's gonna be like 4 teams that are gonna get left off that are gonna be pissed.
Do you think the SEC is going to adopt a 4-team conference championship?
No, they shouldn't. That'd be so stupid.
Because, like, just look at it. Like, there's going to be a few
Oh,
teams that are going to get left out.
there's like 5 or 6 teams that literally that have actually I'd say 5. It's like Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and Ole Miss that could be in the title game.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put Oklahoma in that,
No.
but
Tennessee has scored 191 points and only given up 13.
yeah, they onside kicked up 30 against Kent State.
I did see that. That's scumbag
crazy.
behavior, but
That is scumbag behavior. That's like, I mean, that was when the backups were. I think Nico didn't even finish the second quarter.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
That's how bad the game was out of hand. All right. Well, that was college football.
That was college football.
I expected a lot less out of college football, but it is a lot better product now. I'm gonna be honest. It also helps when you're in college.
Mm-hmm.
For someone that's not a college football person, it does help to be in college. Because then you just find like guys that you like Jam Miller on Alabama. That guy's awesome. But then also just the fact that I'm older than some of these guys now is so stupid. Like I hate that. It's gonna bother me a lot now. Like that just shouldn't be real.
Ryan Williams is only 17.
Yeah, that guy's fucking that's so stupid, bro.
That's
Like
crazy.
I was literally like I was still in high school, fucking not like just trying to figure out life, and this dude just out here fucking 17, can't even fucking vote. All right, we moved to the NFL. I'll start. We already talked about the Vikings. I'm going to talk about them. But I would like to talk about the New Orleans Saints. This team has been like known going into the offseason and into the last like 3 off seasons, it's cap hell. It's like, what do you do with this team? Everyone has low expectations, and they come out and they absolutely fucking destroy the Panthers, which honestly not expected because it's the Saints and everyone expected them to be the most mediocre team.
Yep.
And then they're like, okay, it's kind of like the Vikings. Like it was like, oh, you beat a shitty opponent in week 1, good for you. And then they go into Dallas, which yes, Dallas is supposed to have a good defense, but they also have Mike Zimmer as their defense coordinator, so it should be taken with a grain of salt. And they fucking blow the brakes off them. They scored 15 possessions in a row to start the season.
Yeah, that's absolutely
That
wild.
is fucking nuts. The second highest was like 7.
Yeah, it was like 7
possessions. And they just, I mean, who knew, like, wasn't Clint Kubiak on the Vikings? Wasn't he our offense coordinator at one point? That guy fucking sucked on the Vikings. I don't know how he became a good offensive coordinator, but he is good all of a sudden. And I'm like, that's why I was like so surprised when they were like, oh yeah, Clint Kubiak's the offense coordinator. I'm like, this guy was a fucking garbage offense coordinator for the Vikings. And I think look, where was it again? He was working under, he was working under Shanahan. So he's learned the Shanahan tree now. And so he brought that system in, the wide zone running, and it's like rejuvenated like everyone. Alvin Kamara looks so fucking back. Derek Carr looks elite again. Like I not that he was ever elite, but he looks elite. Like I don't know. He's just Derek Carr was in the dumps of hell after last year. He looked like people wanted to see Jameis over fucking Derek Carr. They're like, it's that bad. And through 2 weeks, they have put up 91 points, which is fucking. And the funniest thing is like when 91 points is like the 5th most through 2 weeks all time. Like, who the fuck is out here putting up over 100 points in the first 2 weeks? Like, what the fuck was it? Like, was it the Eagles when they put up 59 against the Redskins. Was that? I think that was week 1. It was the first game of Vic, and they put up 59 points on the fucking Redskins. Maybe they did it, but like, it is crazy. And like, and people would say like, oh, now you got to prove yourself, and they have the Eagles coming in this week, but the Eagles are fucking garbage. Like, they don't have to prove shit. They probably will just beat the brakes off the Eagles too. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Especially
basically
with
like,
that defense.
yeah, because if people are, and the thing is like the Eagles, it would be different if they had a good defense. But like last year, even the Eagles, they had a pass rush. They don't have a pass rush this year. Bryce Huff is like nowhere to be found. He's a fucking nobody out there. Fucking, they have nothing. The Eagles' defense is like a fucking sheet of paper. You could just rip through that thing with fucking ease. It's like no one, they're not stopping anyone. And if with the Saints firing on all cylinders, for them to be only 2.5-point favorites at home is fucking crazy to me. Like, they should be 5.5-point favorites. But a lot of people respect the Eagles for no reason. They looked like shit week 1, even though they put up 30 points. They didn't even look good, and then they played like shit again. But yeah, the Saints are probably the biggest surprise of the season, honestly.
Oh,
Even
yeah, for
more than
sure.
the Vikings, just because of the amount of points they're putting up. And like, I mean, you could say they play in a bad division, but the division's not even bad anymore. Like,
It's 3 teams and then the Panthers. That's basically what it is.
basically it. And I just don't see, this is a team that I don't know if I could see them slowing down, because they've always had the good defense.
Mm-hmm.
And if the offense can be, they don't even have to be as good as they've been, obviously. If they can put up 25 to 30 points a game, this team could be like considered contenders, which is fucking insane to say.
And like their defense can still get better. Like they run a 4-3. Their tackles are Nathan Shepard and Khalil Saunders. Like, those are nobodies, man. Like,
I've never even heard of those guys.
I've heard of Nathan Shepard because he was on my Mutt team last year. That's all. But like, you could plug in so many other like bigger name like productive guys, and this team would be even more unstoppable. So yeah, I was staying away from Alvin Kamara in drafts because I didn't think this team was going to do anything.
I'm pissed about that now. Because I could have drafted him too, and I just let him go. Yeah, they basically brought back the same team. Like, they didn't sign anyone in free agency besides like Chase Young. That was about it. They
Willie Gay.
said, yes, I forgot about him. They just basically rinsed and repeated this team. Like, there's nothing new on offense. They basically said, "Fuck you, Michael Thomas. We'll make it work." And Rashid Shaheed is fucking
he's crazy.
awesome. He's awesome.
Their wide receiver room has no depth to it. It's Olave and Shaheed, and then Mason Tipton. A.T. Perry, like, Bub Means. Like, what are we doing out here? And
Bub Means? That's a dude's name?
Bub Means.
What is that? That's his name?
Yeah.
Bum Means?
Bub.
Bub Means?
Yeah, he's from Pitt. B-U-B.
What the fuck is that name?
Yep. So, yeah, like, this team can improve. I think they might go after people at the deadline, which is kind of a scary thought.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they are definitely. I don't know. Would you consider them the favorites to win the NFC South right now? Or
they should be.
The Bucs?
The Falcons have now look good. It's going to be Falcons not the Falcons, the Bucs and the Saints, the way it should be. I
think the Falcons are a lot better. I think they just got off to a bad start. I think they're going to be a lot better than what they've looked.
I hope so, because I want my I don't.
Because their defense has a lot more potential than what. I mean, it hasn't even been bad, honestly, and their offense definitely has more potential. And Kirk actually looked good. They put his footwork back to the way they'd supposed to be, which was huge. Because he looked so weird the way he was standing pre-snap before. He's like, they're side by side, like shoulder width apart, and normally he goes like right foot forward. And then they went back to that this game, and I'm like, okay, this looks a lot better. And then
this is Kirk Cousins.
And then I saw some throws, and I'm like, that is Kirk Cousins. That is, and he didn't have one. There was like only one really bad throw, and I'm like, wow, he's back. But yeah, no, the Saints are they're like they're an exciting team, which is insane to say.
Yeah, because usually I consider them like the Steelers of the NFC.
Oh yeah, they're bad. They're normally bad, but this Saints team is honestly more exciting. They might be more exciting if they keep this up. Like not like to this extent, but if they keep it up, they might be more exciting than like Drew Brees Saints.
Ooh.
I mean Drew Brees was not fun to watch in my opinion. He cannot throw the ball down the field at all. It was so bad. I mean, it was still like they were still. I mean, also they were never fun to watch because of the scumbag coach they had too. So, which he should be fired. He's a fucking garbage coach. What a fucking idiot that guy is. Fucking Bo Nix.
Yeah.
What a fucking idiot. Well, yeah, Saints.
All right. So I'm not going teams at all. I went divisions more. So my first one is going to be the NFC East is going to be the battle of the mid. Washington is going to fall off if Jane Daniels doesn't start to find it. I mean, he doesn't have a touchdown pass yet, does he? Still, right?
Through
2 weeks.
There's no rookie quarterback has a passing touchdown.
That's crazy. But like the best point differential in this division with two supposed playoff teams is +4 for the Eagles, and the Cowboys have a -9. Like, that's not very good through 2 weeks. Like, I know the Saints just absolutely beat the crap out of them. Otherwise, they would have a positive differential. But that, like, either way, that's still not a good look. The Cowboys, this is going to be a very ebb and flow season for them because I don't see them having a streak above 3 games either way. Like, they have good opponents and for like 2 games, and then they have bad opponents for 2 games where it should just be up and down, just staying pretty level the entire time. And that goes for the Eagles too. So now I'm expecting this division winner to go around 10-7 this year. Not like it's not gonna be the set the world on fire like the Eagles were 2 years ago and the Cowboys were last year.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I agree. I mean, the NFC East has been like a very solid division in recent years, but then you got the bottom feeder and Giants, and obviously Washington will fall out because their defense cannot stop
It's
anything.
not sustainable. No.
Yeah, and the Eagles, they're almost the same team as they were last year. The exact same. Like there's no difference. Like the offense looks like it could be more dynamic than it was last year, but their defense is almost worse.
Yeah.
And it's going to get worse because they're just going to get exposed by a really good team.
Bro, how did Slade get beat that bad?
Because he's washed. He's so washed.
Just staring at the quarterback and not going after your receiver. That's wild.
I like how he stared at him when it was man coverage too.
Yeah.
They ran man to man, which they did all night in the red zone, and he's just eyeing down Kirk Cousins. The best part is Kirk Cousins basically looked that entire way the entire time.
Yeah.
And he just didn't move. I don't know. I still think the Cowboys have the best chance though, because I
agree.
They have the pass rush. They have a good quarterback. They have the best offense probably. I mean, they'll eventually figure out the running game, and eventually it will get going probably. But they probably have the best chance because, I mean, actually, I don't know if they do because they do have Mike Zimmer as their defense coordinator. So I don't understand that decision either.
Play not to lose the game. Instead of play to
Well, they didn't have a chance to do that last week because they just got the. I mean, that's the thing is he runs 2 high safeties. And the fucking Saints were just like, okay, we'll just run the ball down your fucking throat and like figure out what you're gonna do with this.
No adjustments.
No, and Micah Parsons was a fucking no-show. Like the Saints figured out how to play him very well, and if teams and the thing is now that's on tape, you get teams they see this, they're gonna figure out how to take that guy out of the game. And when you take on Micah Parsons with Mike Zimmer's defense, you're not gonna you're fucked. You're beyond fucked. I can't believe that was the best option at defense coordinator, unless no one wanted to coach there.
I don't know why though. Unless you really don't want to deal with Jerry Jones. That's the reason I'm thinking.
Mike Zimmer's also played there before, or coached there with Jerry Jones, so he knows him. Probably why Jerry brought him back. Oh, I know that this is my good old pal, Mike. Mike will get it done, and he's like, And he's like, yes, he will. And then you got Mike
hasn't.
Zimmer and Mike McCarthy, just
Oh yeah,
fucking two mics, just sucking it up. God, what a sad. That's gonna be one of the saddest divisions in football
yeah,
by far. It's gonna be bad. I think honestly the division winner could go 9-8.
yeah. I was debating about that, but then I feel like, that might be a little too tight.
Yeah, probably. I was debating on what team I wanted to go with because I was gonna go with another team. Um, but I'll go with the team that I feel most strong about. Well, that's the Jaguars. They're a fucking garbage team. Um, I think you should expect them to be picking top 5 in the draft this year. And I would expect to see Doug Peterson get fired here shortly, I would hope, because I don't know how they get any better. They play the Bills this week. They just don't have a good roster. And Trevor Lawrence hasn't shown shit to get that contract either.
Nope.
I don't understand how you gave him that contract. He didn't prove shit to even get it. And they're like, okay, we need to pay him. What is this, his 4th year now?
Yeah, they didn't even pick up his option. Well, like this replaces his option, I think, right?
I don't know how that works. I don't think it does. I think they still have to pick it up. I think you could still pick it up because I think Jefferson still has his 5th year option. I think. I'm not totally fucking sure how that works.
Yeah.
But either way, like they used to have.
Oh, it's a rookie extension, so yeah, I think it takes out the thing.
Oh yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I just don't see how this team gets any better. I mean, they didn't really make any like great additions. Like, yeah, they brought in like some guys on offense to make it prolific. And this was said last year. They're like, oh, we brought in Calvin Ridley. Look at the bump that Trevor Lawrence is going to take. And everyone was like hopping on the Jaguars. And I don't know if it's Trevor Lawrence. It probably is, but it could be Doug Peterson is just out of touch and he's not a good coach anymore. Like, it could come down to that too, but this team just continues to struggle to put points on the board. Their defense played, I mean, they did play the Dolphins week 1 and the Dolphins sucked it up, but then they fucking figured it out. They choked that game away, which is very Jaguars fashion. Then they played the Browns, but that game, was that raining the entire game? That game looked gross.
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to it.
It looked so wet there. It was so like dense, like foggy kind of. It looked just disgusting. And whenever I see Trevor Lawrence playing in one of those games, it's just bad. But I just like I said, they're going to go 3-14, and that's also because they have a tough schedule. But I just don't understand how they come back from being 0-2. I mean, they play the Bills this week, and they play on the road.
0-3.
Like they're probably going to go 0-3, and their season's basically done.
Their second or third best defender, Tyson Campbell, is on IR now. Like,
yeah, they're fucked. I don't know. I really don't know how this team is going to be even competent by halfway through the season. I mean, I saw right through it, and that's also because I just don't believe in Trevor Lawrence either, and I think they're going to regret giving him that contract.
Yeah, put in Mac Jones. Why not? Let's have a little fun here.
I don't know if it would even be that much worse. Like Trevor Lawrence does not look like a top 20 guy. Even. No. He's just not good. He has shown nothing. And he gets his big bag, and then they expect him to be good. And maybe he'll turn it around and start actually producing, but he hasn't produced shit since. And Travis Etienne is like a no-show this year. He got the same amount of carries as Tank Bigsby the first week, and Tank Bigsby was more efficient. Like, it's just a bad situation there in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah. Get my boy Hines Allen out there. Get him on a better team.
Oh, Josh Allen. He should have just not signed a contract there, but he got fucked because they fucking franchise tagged him. Yeah. I hate the franchise tag. The franchise tag is so stupid.
All right, for my second one, we're gonna stay in the AFC South, but we're talking about the division as a whole. The AFC South is going to get real ugly real fast. All teams are 0-2 besides the Texans. Again, Texans have the only positive point differential at .8 or +8. Everyone else is at least a -8. We knew that the Titans would be bad. Like, this is no surprise. And that the Colts would be trying to figure it all out in Richardson's second year, hopefully his full year. So there would be some growing pains and things like that. But I don't see the Texans dropping a single divisional game, and this is going to be a huge piece of it, of them just taking control. They're going to be the first team to clinch their division, clinch the playoff spot. It's over for the AFC South besides them already. And their first place schedule isn't even that extremely tough. You got at home versus the Lions week 10, week 16 at the Chiefs, and then Christmas Day versus the Ravens. Those are the three marquee matchups of this season. And the Ravens haven't looked that good either this year. So that might not even be a marquee game come Christmas. So who knows? Texans, that, you should be putting all your life savings onto division winner right there.
Yeah, it's probably -1,000 right now, probably.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm gonna look it up.
I mean, I'm not surprised because the Texans or whatever and the Jags, I expected to be garbage. But the Colts, they just missed a golden opportunity to win a game that they should have absolutely won. They should have beat Green Bay. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah,
I get that it's Packers at home, but they should not have lost that game. Their run. I mean, the Green Bay had the perfect game plan because the Texans gave it to them on a silver platter. Just run the fucking football against them because they gave up 150. There was over 200 rushing yards against them back-to-back weeks on the ground. Their run defense is atrocious.
Yeah.
And then they just lost to Forrest Buckner for at least 4 games. So now they're even more fucked. The hardest game in the division for the Texans was week 1, and they won the game. Now they're just probably going to coast. That's 6 wins. And they probably will win at least 3 of those games outside of their marquee games that you just said. So then, I don't know, maybe, yeah, that's about right. That sounds about right. So then the Texans could easily go 12-5, 13-4 this year. They could be contending for the 1 seed.
Yep.
Because of how bad this division is. And I also think that the Texans they're going to be a really good team. Their defense is probably going to be a lot better than people think. And obviously that offense has the ability to put up a lot of fucking points. Yep. So yeah, I agree. This division will probably be wrapped up by week 11.
Yeah.
Or week 12.
The number one team to win their division is the Chiefs at -400. Makes sense, obviously. And then the next
that's a
lowest,
bias. That's such a bias.
Lowest
the Chiefs
is the Texans at -310. So it's 10 to
the
win.
Chiefs shouldn't be at
$3.22
already. Yeah. What do you say?
It's $10 to win, $3.22.
All right. We'll get into booking with beef. Solid week 1 from the squad.
Oh yeah.
I of course just couldn't hit I just didn't hit my in the bank, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's to sell me. I hit everything else easily, but I didn't hit actually yeah, no, it was easy. It was easy. So easy. The Cards barely went over and the Patriots barely covered. So
still covered, that's all that matters.
Yeah. The Jags and the Browns game I didn't even know the weather was supposed to be bad, but that was the easiest pick I could have ever made.
I mean, to be fair, I probably would have rolled with Dallas -6.5 too versus New Orleans, so nothing to be ashamed of there.
Well, I was we started the season and I didn't know what to do with the favorite, so then I went with the old reliable, and reliable is already gone. I'm not going back.
There's
to the
no
Cowboys.
system this year.
The system, I don't know what the system is. We might figure it out soon. Right now, I don't have one, and that's okay. I gotta figure out. The problem is, I feel like my system didn't work very well. Actually, no, it definitely did. It definitely did. I feel like the Cowboys covered a lot of games
It
last year when
did.
I picked them. So I gotta find my team. And if I get a trend going, well, I didn't pick a team that I did last week, but if I get a trend going, I think I'm gonna have to start sticking with the trend and going with that team.
Fair enough.
You can technically start, Brandon, because you hit your in the bank.
Oh, I was just gonna
So
bring that up. I was gonna say we can start next week, but all right.
you technically get to start because you got that. That's like a tiebreaker, I guess.
And then if we both hit it or we both don't, then just whoever started last week. If it's like tie. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna go KC minus 3.5 at Atlanta in the bank.
Straight cash, homie.
Tell them to bring me my money.
I just think it's the Chiefs. They got it. I'm not totally sold on the Falcons yet. So, yeah,
I'm not even sold on the Chiefs.
I have
I'm
more
gonna- I might
confidence
ride
in
that.
them.
I might ride that take again that they are not that good.
Oh, back on it.
I still don't think they were that year they won the Super Bowl. What was that? The Eagles year?
Yeah,
I don't think they were that good as they were. And I don't even think they were as good last year. Their defense was just really good. But I think they might. This might be a crazy take. The Chiefs might be the most mid dynasty of all time. It might be the worst dynasty of all time. Patriots were better. The Steelers were better. The Cowboys were better. The 49ers were better. I think they have the worst dynasty of all time. Because I don't think these teams were as dominant. Call
yeah,
me
I can see
crazy,
that.
but I think it's true. All right, let's see. We talked about it already. We'll go Eagles Saints over 49.5. The Eagles can't stop a thing. The Saints offense is rolling. Yeah, I mean, if the Saints put up 31, I could expect the Eagles to chip in a 20-pointer there to hit the
20
over.
pointer.
So, yeah,
All right,
a 20-point
49.5.
performance. Oh yeah,
Okay.
I hit a big over last week, so that might be my strategy. Is going high overs.
Fair enough. Let me see. Went over. Okay. I think I'm gonna take Packers +2 at Titans.
That was my second option. That
Yep.
was gross. It's a gross pick, but like
The Colts are a better team than the Titans, and the Packers won there, so I think they'll win at the Titans. I don't think that should be much of an issue. And
it's still a gross pick though.
Malik Willis revenge tour.
Ooh, yes.
So
It's still a gross pick. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. It is gross.
We're
Okay. I will follow that game, and I will go under 38. This game is going to. This game is
38.
That's what it is. Yeah. This game isn't going to touch red zone.
You don't think so?
Oh no, because like the Titans can actually like stop the run decently. So like if they stop the run, the Packers might be fucked.
This is gonna be this is where your field goals are gonna live.
This might be a punt fest.
Is there a bet for that? Might throw it down.
No.
That'd be something. All right.
Oh, speaking of punts, did you see the Bears have less yards than Torrey Taylor?
That's
this season?
hilarious. I love it.
That's so sad. They're one of three teams where there's three teams. I think it was the Panthers and the Broncos.
They know what it feels
That
like.
their punter has more yards than their offense.
Makes sense. Okay, yeah, we're gonna. Yeah. We're going under here. We're going Giants at Browns, 38.5. It's a low under, but neither team has looked good on offense, and the Giants can at least play a little bit of defense. At least their defensive line can. So yeah,
That's a gross game.
yeah.
All right. I will go Bears +1.5. I like the Bears. More of the fact that I think their defense is going to show up in this game. And I feel like that with the Colts having a really bad run defense, I think the Bears will be able to run the football, and it will make it easier for Caleb
Is it
Williams.
at Indianapolis or at
Yeah,
Chicago? Okay, yeah.
it is.
All right, saving your in the bank for last. All right. Okay. Over. High one, but we're going Detroit at Arizona, 51.5. I was gonna do
like that one.
the Seahawks Dolphins, but with 2 out, I don't trust the Seahawks defense is good enough to stop the Dolphins. I don't think the Seahawks are putting up like 30-something points. So
Yeah, that's good. That was my other one. That would have been my other one because I feel like the Cardinals just don't play defense,
nope.
and I feel like State Farm Stadium produces very high scoring games.
They've ran up the score in both their games, so
That is true. The over has hit twice in their games. That is a fact.
and the Lions
The
have
Cardinals
good
just might
offense.
be. The Cardinals might just. It's looked bad to start though.
Yeah, but
Jared Goff looks
figure
like
it out.
shit. They should figure it out this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the Cardinals are an over team this year. That might be
might
something
be.
to look at. All right. My favorite. No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. -5.5 in the bank.
Straight cash, homie.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Or -5. My bad. -5 in the bank. They're gonna kill the Jags. They're gonna circle the wagons and absolutely just go around. They're gonna be going in a circle around them. It's gonna be so easy.
Yeah, I agree with that pick.
The Bills have looked good. Like they didn't look great week 1, then they looked really good last week, and they're just gonna fucking mollywop the fucking Jags. Doug
Yeah.
Peterson's gonna. There's gonna be a sad Doug Peterson on the sideline. There's gonna be like a sad clip of him at one point. Like he's gonna have nothing to do. Trevor Lawrence is gonna have the most long face when he has nothing. Like he's not gonna know what to do.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
it's gonna be bad.
I like our picks this week. I'm feeling good.
Hey man, maybe I'll be above 500 this year.
That'd be crazy if you could actually trust us with betting advice.
Imagine. I mean, I don't think I mean, you were above 500, but I don't think you were like up enough to be where you would actually make money though.
Let me see. Where was it?
Because it's like 56% or whatever that you have to hit bets to like win money or something like that.
6%. Last year I finished 58-45.
So 58.5 divided by 103. 56.7. That's
Wow.
like just enough. You'd make like you'd make a couple bucks off Brandon last year.
Look at me.
As long as you don't put them in a parlay, because I don't think I think you had 1 5-0 week last year,
I think I
if
had
that.
2.
And then yeah. But that actually would be, if you hit that, then you would easily be up money. There's no way.
Yeah, 2. Oh, yeah. Oh, 3.
Three?
5 5-0s and 1 3-0 for the championship week.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us here at Certified Beef. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
See you later.